Spooky and totally true stories. So, a few years ago, I was talking with some of my friends, and I told them that I once got into a fight with Chuck Norris, and I won. Like, I beat him up. Yes, the legendary karate champ. I lied and said that I beat him up. I don't even really know why I did it. I mean, we were talking about ice cream, and out of nowhere, I just said, hey, guess what? I once beat up Chuck Norris. Anyway, I really just forgot all about it. I mean, it was just one of those things. But then, one night, very late, I heard a knock at the door. Tiredly, I looked at the clock, and it was like 4:44 a.m. I mean, that probably means something, but anyway. So I walked to my front door, and I looked through the peephole, and guess what? There was no one there. So I turned to go back to my bed, right? And all of a sudden, the door knocks again. And I nervously looked through the peephole, and once again, man, there is no one there. It was creepy. But then, I began to hear this deep, spooky laughter in the hallway outside. I mean, that's crazy, right? Suddenly, in the peephole, I see Chuck Norris just staring at me, man. He's just staring at me. Then his deep voice begins to talk to me through the door, and it sounds like he's in the room with me. And his words were, I can see you. Like Chuck Norris could see through my peephole and see me. That's wild, man. I was like, wow, Chuck Norris, like what an honor. But then he spoke again, and he said, let me in. We need to talk. So I opened the door, and I let him in. And he walks in the same pose. Like his finger didn't move. So I say, hey, Chuck, what's going on? I'm a big fan, and yeah, I mean, it's a little late, but that's fine. He stares at me, and he says, be quiet. And I'm like, well, that's weird. I mean, this is like, my house, and like you're telling me to be quiet. But when Chuck Norris says, shut up, that's probably something you should do. Then he takes off his boots and his hat, and he lays them, politely by the door. It was beautiful, man. And it was so polite, like he cared about my floors. However, when I looked back at Chuck, he was in different clothes. Like, in less than 3 seconds, he had changed into a karate gi. Then, out of nowhere, he starts doing katas and like throwing kicks and punches into the air. I just, sat on my couch, eating, my chips, and clapping and, saying, woohoo! Go, Chuck! Then he just stops. He stares at me, and he says, a lot of people make fun of me. They tell a lot of jokes at my expense. But you, punk, you are the worst of them all. You lied about me. You lied about beating me up. And I don't like liars. And now you're gonna pay. But, before I could say, hey, Chuck, I'm sorry. I was kicked 37 times, punched 48 times, and then I just passed out, man. Apparently, when Chuck has, free time on his hands, he goes to people's houses and, beats them up if they've lied about him. Like, I'm not the first, and I certainly won't be the last. So I woke up the next morning, and I had 2 black eyes, bruises all over my body. And apparently he stole my chips, which, I mean, I guess, he worked up an appetite while beating me up. And so he took my chips. That's kind of weird. So, in conclusion, I guess the main takeaway of this whole story is do not leave your chips out, because Chuck Norris will take them, alright? And then you're going to have to go to the store and buy new chips, and that's just a real pain.
Maybe just don't lie.
No. I think it's more important to not leave your chips out because Chuck Norris will take them. Okay, as a side note, Chuck Norris is awesome. Just awesome. So, if you are old enough, ask your parents if you can watch a Chuck Norris movie. Ask your well, wait, no, ask your dad. Ask your dad if you can watch a Chuck Norris movie. Do not ask your mom. That will not go the way that you're hoping it will go. So ask your dad, and you guys just watch like all the Chuck Norris movies, and it'll be awesome. Okay, thanks, bye. So did you like this spooky story? Because those bruises, they were real, man. And I'm working hard, so I like subscribers. So if you could just subscribe, the button's it's right there below. Just push it, please.